بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. حضورنا الكرام، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. نرحب بكم في اليوم الثالث والختام من منتدى مكة للحلال، حيث نصل معا إلى تتويج 3 أيام حافلة بالرؤى الاستراتيجية والنقاشات المتخصصة والشراكات العابرة للحدود. لقد اجتمعنا في رحاب مكة المكرمة لنؤكد أن صناعة الحلال ليس مجرد قطاع اقتصادي، بل منظومة قيم ومعايير احترافية ورسالة عالمية تصنع إرثاً مستدام. في يومنا الختامي نسلط الضوء على مسارات نوعية تعكس عمق الرؤية وشمولية الطموح وتمكين المرأة وريادة الأعمال وتطوير منظومة جودة الحلال عالمياً. حضورنا الكرام، نرحب بكم في مستهل جلسة اليوم الختامي في مسار يعكس إيمان المنتدى بدور المرأة كشريك رئيسي في بناء مستقبل الاقتصاد الحلال. في الجلسة الأولى بعنوان تمكين احترافية المرأة المسلمة في أسواق الحلال العالمية، جلسة تسلط الضوء على تعزيز القيادة النسائية وتفتح الآفاق أمام كفاءات للمنافسة في الأسواق العالمية وفق أعلى المعايير الاحترافية. وتتفضل مديرة الجلسة الأستاذة نتفام مامادوفو للترحيب بضيوفها الكرام وإدارة الحوار.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Natavam Mamadova. I am the Secretary General of Maidanazar Organization for Women Economic Empowerment, and I am extremely excited to be here today with you, given the fact that I was the first speaker of the first session of the first edition of Makkah Halal Forum in totally different capacity. And today, being here, to me, it's like one of the benchmarks, landmarks for myself to answer myself where we are, where we have moved, and where shall we go. So across the Islamic world, women carry only families and community, not only, but also we carry future of our communities. Our talent, our resilience, our creativity, our leadership remains sometimes underutilized, and we have to accept it. I am not saying that this is something unique only to OIC countries, it's worldwide. And some studies like World Bank, UN studies are showing that there is this very still long way to go for us to close that gender gap. Women's economic empowerment is not just a peripheral issue, it's central to dignity, prosperity, and sustainability. Global evidence shows that closing gender gaps could lift global GDP by 20%. But behind the numbers lies a deeper truth. When women are empowered to work, lead, and innovate, societies become more resilient, inclusive, and forward-looking. Across many OIC member states, women today are more educated than ever before, and in some countries, women are better educated and there are more women in education than men. We are graduating from universities, mastering new technologies, and contributing ideas that can shape our future. Yes, too often this potential is lost between education and employment. So what statistics are showing? That there is a gap between the tertiary education graduates among women and their labor participation. Women remain underrepresented in formal labor markets, leadership positions, and decision-making space, not because of the lack of ability, but because systems haven't yet evolved to fully include them. Encouragingly, change is already happening. Reforms across parts of the AIC, from labor market modernization to childcare, skills development, and entrepreneurship support, are showing results. And I have to say that Saudi Arabia is one of the best. Statistics are just improving year after year. It shows that when policies Aligned with private sector engagement and our social values, women's participation rises, families benefit, and economies grow stronger. Entrepreneurship offers another powerful pathway. Across OIC countries, women are starting businesses, creating jobs, and driving local development, often in the face of limited access to finance, markets, and networks. When women-owned enterprises are supported to scale, the impact multiplies, income rises, communities stabilize, and innovation flourishes. At MIDA, we believe women's economic empowerment is both a moral responsibility and strategic and economic imperative. It requires more than isolated initiatives. It calls for coordinated action, policies that work together, institutions that listen, data that informs decisions, and partnerships that bridge the public and private sectors. Most importantly, it requires belief. Belief that women are not beneficiaries of development, but its architects. We are the architects. Belief that inclusion strengthens, not weakens our economies. And belief that within the values of the Islamic world lies a powerful foundation for justice, opportunity, and shared prosperity for all of us. With that, I would like to invite here my very esteemed panelists, and the first I would like to invite here Ms. Nawal Al-Babtain, Director of Halal Product Advisory at Halal Product Development Company. Dear Nawal, may I have you here? The next is Ms. Diana Sabrain, co-founder and chief executive of One Agris. And last and not least, our very own Ms. Aliya Jafar, Director of International Relations, Islamic Chamber of Commerce and Development. I am looking forward for very fruitful, interactive discussion because ladies are from different sectors with different backgrounds, and I so much enjoyed our talk just before we started. And you know, I truly believe that this type of conversations are very essential because even sitting there and talking to each other, we are learning, we are sharing. And this sustainability and everything, again, I am repeating that it's in our DNA of women. So we love to nourish, we love to take care, we love to share. So, and as I said, just our short conversation before the session started convinced me that we are going to have a very powerful discussion today. And Ms. Nawal, we'll start from you, and as agreed, you talk about the things which I just shared. How do you see our future in workplaces, in professional life? About your company, how you do that, how do you ensure the inclusivity and gender participation, and about yourself, of course. Thank you for accepting kind invitation and joining this panel today, and tell us, what was that said, okay, I want to be there? Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me in this session. It's truly appreciated to be part of this panel and represent Saudi Arabia as a women leader in halal sector. Actually, I graduated from nutrition and food science, and after that I get my master's degree in leadership. When I come back from US, I already joined the Saudi Halal Center, SFTA, as a head of registration. Mm-hmm. I was there with them almost 5 years. I moved to now, before 3 years, I moved to the Halal Product Development Companies, which is wholly owned by a public investment fund as a director. In our company, actually, we have the Halal Product Development Companies is established in October 2023. It's to localize the halal industry in Saudi Arabia by having actually 2 arms in our company. We have the investment arm. It's to localize the halal industry by having GVs with the international companies and the local companies. And also we have the advisory arm. It's led by Dr. Muhammad Ali. He is there. We provide the companies, the consultant, to be having the halal certification from Saudi Arabia and out of Saudi Arabia. They help the companies to get all the requirement and ready to get the halal certification from a governmental entity, as I mentioned, in Saudi Arabia or out Saudi Arabia. And also we work to build the national halal strategy for the countries. We build already the national halal strategy for Nigeria, for Somalia, for Greece, and we also working this year with other countries to build their national halal strategy to have the ecosystem in place. And also we build many programs to help to fill the gaps, for the missing gaps in Saudi Arabia or out Saudi Arabia. We have actually many programs. One of the programs we already established is graduate programs, is help young Saudi to know, learn about the halal.
Okay.
Because it's a new idea in Saudi Arabia. Because you know, by default, everything in Saudi Arabia halal. But we don't have a major specifically for halal, but we have Sharia major and different major in our country. But the concept of halal, we have this program to build awareness for these young people to know about halal in the future. And also, when you look up to the market now, we don't find a woman leader in the Saudi Arabia as an auditor. We create a new program for the auditor to partner with the Saudi Accreditation Center to help Saudi citizen to know about to be an auditor in the future.
Okay.
We have like 7 or 8 courses we provided in our company. After that, they go to the second phase with Saudi Accreditation Center to have the test and to have the visit with the halal certification body. Actually, our company HBDC is they see the ecosystem in Saudi Arabia and they fill the gaps. Where is the gaps? Investment or training, capacity building, and helping the company to export out of Saudi Arabia. For example, you look up to Saudi Arabia as an export and import, we found Saudi Arabia is 22 ranking. We create a new program to help Saudi company to export out of Saudi Arabia with partnership with Saudi Export Authority. The cost, it will be fully embarrassed from Saudi export. And we actually have many Saudi companies that now exporting out of Saudi Arabia as a halal product.
It's really very important because if in Mecca you feel a need, that there is a need for awareness on halal,
yes.
I mean that it's globally there. But tell me, going back to our program, how many women do you have in your company? And just before we switch to the questions, but I just want to know that.
Yes, I actually, this session highlights how Muslim women, especially from Kingdom Saudi Arabia and Muslim across the world, are shaping the future of global halal economy through their professionalism and athletic leadership and also dynamic participation. Let's explore how talent mobility and capacity building enable women to access actually leadership roles within halal enterprise, certification bodies, and international market. A real-world example from Saudi Arabia Vision 2030. They have many things implementing for women to be a leader in different sectors, including halal sectors.
Yeah.
That's why we have creating many programs and our companies, and you know that even governmental identity, they have a department for halal. And many Saudi women here in Saudi Arabia is like a leader in halal like me also, because now I have experience. We start, I think, halal 2019 in Saudi Arabia. And actually, I have my colleague now, they are women as a leader in halal. They have workshops and different things to do.
MashaAllah. I believe that halal is such a great opportunity for women-owned businesses.
Yes.
Yeah, if we increase their awareness on what is halal and what are the opportunities it might bring to them. Thank you. I will get back to you. So, dear Diana, welcome. We met 2 years ago with you in Malaysia.
Yes.
Yeah, and tell us your abstract, your bio, and then we'll continue with the questions.
Thank you, Sister Nataban. Thank you, Sister Nawal. So, Assalamu alaikum, everyone. So, my name is Diana Sabrin. I am the CEO and co-founder of Wine Agrics, a Switzerland, Singapore headquartered company, which is building a compliance infrastructure for global trade in global faith-based. So OneAgrix, a little bit about OneAgrix, and I think that's what you want us to share. So we are a US PTO patent pending company. We recently patented our agentic AI infrastructure for faith-based trade. And at the same time, we are referenced and recognized at the World Economic Forum and also in the ComSec report, where we sit alongside giants of Kerry Group and Cargill. So that's what we do at OneAgrix. But at the same time, I would like to touch upon what I heard when His Excellency Yusuf Halawi, he spoke about the halal opportunity, and we can discuss this later. But why it's very relevant for me at OneAgrix is, as I mentioned, we are building this compliance infrastructure in global faith-based food. It's an intersection of halal and other regulated food. And when we hear about the opportunity, His Excellency Yusuf was saying about the Westerners, how they are looking at halal and waiting to pounce on the opportunity. Why not us Muslims building that infrastructure? And I feel today, with women empowerment being the topic, I think we can discuss this further. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. The 5 largest halal exporters, protein halal exporters are non-Muslim countries. And can you imagine what is the potential for ourselves there if we help again ourselves to see it? And it's a huge cake, and of course we have to have our own piece of that cake there. And you shared a bit your story during our catch up, and you said that you registered your business in Switzerland and it wasn't that difficult.
So this is the thing, the experience about being an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So I am born and bred Singaporean. So I'm based in Singapore. I was born in Singapore, built a company, but then obviously when you build a company, you would want to see where you would win.
Okay.
And I wouldn't touch about politics because this is not the forum about it. But when you're building halal, you're building faith-based, you would want to be in a neutral country where you can grow out the business. And so when we grew, with our reference on World Economic Forum, with being in ComSec report, what we realized that, hey, let's then look at the West. How can we see them as an ally, leverage technology? And so that's where we had the opportunity to, we were invited by the economic promotion body Zook to set up OneAgrix and to grow into the Europe corridors. So it wasn't that difficult, to your question. It was because you put yourself in a position where they invite you. And later, I would like to share that that's where women, we need to empower ourselves. We shouldn't put doors. Of course, there'll always be that feeling that, can I do it? Are you sure? Is it too expensive? Well, if you do not try, you will never know.
Exactly.
So that's what we did. We tried, we built up the company on merit. It's not because we are women, it's because we are successful entrepreneurs. I think that's the message I want to bring. Building Singapore into Switzerland and into the global market.
Switzerland sounds very serious, and my congratulations on that. Yeah, as you said, not because of you were a woman, but because of you are successful entrepreneurs. And the ones who know me, they know my dream, that one day will come and we won't be telling woman entrepreneur, woman pilot, woman scientist. So there will be not this differentiation. People will be just pilots, entrepreneurs, scientists, etc. But we'll share more about that. My dear colleague and friend Alia, actually she was the one who started all the preparations for our very dear baby organization Maida Nazir, and she's the one whom I'm calling, whom I'm texting when I'm in need. And Alia has a huge experience, despite she's young, both in private sector and international organizations. Her last years she spent with the ICCD, and she also was an entrepreneur. So Alia, please, our favorite topic, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Natawan. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. It's such a pleasure to be here. This is my first time at Makkah Halal Forum, and it's truly an eye-opener when I look at the opportunity around us. So I've been, as Natawan mentioned, I've been in the private sector for about 18 years, primarily international marketing, and later on became a consultant, marketing strategy consultant. And with reference to women, it's always been a passion point for me. In my experience, one of the biggest areas that we need, and I think the Islamic Chamber had the foresight and the will to actually act on it, where we need to have structured platforms for women, because as you very rightly mentioned, we don't lack capability. Diana and I were discussing, it's not even a lack of education. And today it's all about whoever has the hunger, but also the platform to be visible and to share what they're doing. And the Islamic Chamber of Commerce, it is really an honor for me to be with an organization who's taken it up at a leadership level and established an entity which is going to provide structured platform, not just for things like access to finance, capacity building, but also policy making. We have to be part of the policies that will impact our livelihoods.
Yeah, that's very true. And being an opinion maker, an opinion influencer is very, very important. And also, as you rightly mentioned, it's not just, ad hoc. We are looking at the very holistic approach. And the thing is that our geography is very heterogeneous. We have different countries with different level education, income education, and with different needs. In some countries, access to finance is more important. In other countries, networking is more important. And Ms. Nawal going there, and inshallah, when we maybe Aliyah will have to think when we launch the strategy of the organization to the public, and you will see there that we tried our best to put all those segments which in our understanding countries in our portfolio they lack. And networking and collaboration is one of them. Dear Nawal, how can Muslim women strengthen collaboration and networking within the halal sector?
Yes, actually women can be engaged in the professional collaboration, network and participation in the halal event, international halal event. It will have share expertise and build partnership and expand leadership influence across the halal sectors. Actually, in my point of view, I have been also engaged in international and local events like Mecca, London, and Istanbul, and others. I met a lot of women's leaders in halal. I share expertise, and also we also share the ideas to have proposed new ideas, and also to share with their organization, and to have a partnership with the organization. And we propose some ideas, and we have the relationship with their organization, and we have a strategic partnership with them. It's actually when you're going to this event, Makkah Halal Forum, or other events, you can find a new people in these sectors, and you can find a new ideas, and as I mentioned before, a new gaps that you can fill it, and you have right things to do. Thank you.
So, being a woman leader, you feel that need for networking.
Yes.
You see the value, right? And besides of the getting, and I think that networks, it's very understandable that people of the same profession, they come together, and regardless, and probably people come together because of their interest, professional or private interests. But at the same time, I truly believe that these networks are very good places to come together and to discuss how we can pay back to the society and how we can lift the another professions or levels of women, how we can integrate them into halal system, how we can build their capacities. So being mindful of the importance of women relationships, I also think that these networking are very important, and I'm glad you do that, and I do hope that you will be doing them even more. So, dear Diana, I'm moving to you. Please tell us, how can technology-driven platforms reduce structural barriers for Muslim women seeking leadership roles in global halal markets?
So, Natavan, thank you so much for the question. So, I'm sure all of you here, you're familiar with AI and ChatGPT. So, how many of you here use ChatGPT in your daily life?
All of us, I guess.
You know, like everyone. So this comes to my point. How can women leverage technology for themselves? Now, if you look at the age of AI, and you look where we are living right now, we are at the intersection of technology and responsibility. So when we look at that, we look at access, like what you mentioned earlier, access. So technology actually reduce the information asymmetry and allow women access to information, which is, will empower them. So first thing, leverage technology in the way that you can gain information. For example, okay, I want to open a company which sells nuts, for example. Now, where do you go next? How do you find more information about, let's say, chambers of commerce that can help you accelerate trade? Or how do you even simple things like incorporate your company? Use technology. It used to be Google, but now people use ChatGPT, use Claude, use different LLMs. That's one. Now, another way to leverage technology is in your business itself. How do you make yourself more visible? Now, in this age of technology, not necessarily AI, visibility becomes easier for women. You do not need to now, trade shows are important. It's where you network, as you mentioned. But then it stops there. How do you continue the conversation? Leverage technology, be on LinkedIn, do not be shy, post about your products, post about yourself. And I would love to encourage women to be a little bit boastful. Now, in not a bad way. Now, I notice women, we tend to hold back. So in social media, we hold back, we refuse to talk about ourselves. And being a Muslim woman is even, you get a conflict, because then you see, am I talking too much about myself? Am I not modest enough? But all this success is all lost, right? That's the natural thought. But then no, our religion empower us to actually be successful. So use that second, as I mentioned, use social media to be more visible. Now, thirdly, the last one, use technology to make sure that your business is profitable. Now, this one depends on the company, but I would like to say that in this age, digitalization is important. Every company needs technology. Even the stalls that you see on the street, they need technology. I am sure they will at least have an Instagram or a Facebook. So these are the three ways that women can leverage technology.
Yes, technology and ChatGPT, it's yesterday, I believe Alia was mentioning with my friend GPT, and sometimes I understand that I have certain arguments with GPT that saying, are you sure? So it's becoming part of our life, and information, and we discussed it this morning also with Alia regarding the information. When I was younger, access to information was a problem. So in Baku, we would have to go to the library named after Akhundov to be able to get books, to read them, and we would stand in a line, we would call the library if that book is back or not. Today, but a lot of information is also not good. We have to be able to filter. And it seems that the role of today's education is to teach the youngsters how to learn. So it's a very good social media, it's a very good instrument as a knife, which can be used just, to cut the bread and to kill someone. So social media also has these things which we have to be mindful while we are using them ourselves, or controlling how our kids or young generations are using that. going back to this social media again, I don't have Instagram and Facebook. I am only on LinkedIn. But I've started feeling a need. I never thought that it can be a case to have an Instagram, because the ones who are not on a LinkedIn are looking on Instagram for me and they text me. So maybe one of you guide me on that. So dear Alia, what practical steps can organizations take today to promote women leaders through education?
Thank you, Natavan. So I think that they need to encourage and incentivize women's personal development, And as you very rightly mentioned, that there's a lot of information out there, right? So to be able to filter it in a manner which is meaningful for us and for the organization. And so how you incentivize and encourage is you support them, but make them their own owners. And then, recognize when they receive or they achieve or they visit an event. So for example, at Makkah Halal Forum, we hear so much about halal. In fact, I have been hearing about halal for a long time, but in the last 2 days, I've learned so much myself. One of them being the trust.
Yeah.
And the infrastructure that's required to support halal, not just using Islamic finance or the dietary, but there's also the tourism. And fascinatingly enough, we are now not competing just within ourselves. I believe yesterday one of the panelists mentioned that we are competing with countries that are stronger. They've been in this space for a very long time. So we are actually entering our own markets. So we have to really catch up. So when organizations support their staff, particularly women, to participate in events, to network, I remember I used to be with an American company when I started, and they had a global women's network. So I brought that in Pakistan, and I collaborated with 5 other organizations, and we started a women's network. And the reason for that was that I wanted to know how they got to know about which job is where, and what is the new thing that's coming up within marketing, which event is pop. So you gain a lot of information by just these things. So I think number 1 is that. Number 2 is also making it accessible for them. And in some of our countries, mobility is an issue. Not everyone has a car. So how do you make it easy for them? And those are some of the areas that the organizations need to think about. The third thing that I want to stress upon, I know that everyone must have heard about mentorship, but I don't think many organizations are formally practicing it. So all my life, in 30 years of working, I've been looking for a mentor, and I've been in structured organizations where they have this, but it just seems like lip service, And this is an area where I think all of us need to pull in to think about how to convert these lip service words into actual working models. Because sharing of knowledge, you were in Indonesia a couple of weeks ago, and one of the outcomes of this roundtable, which was conducted, and for me that was a new word, which is silver economy. Now, the silver economy are the people, older people who've retired. Now, these people have extreme amounts of knowledge and wisdom that the youngsters can learn from, right? Because basics don't change. Yes, technology will enable and accelerate, but the basics remain the same. The ethics, the values, they remain the same, which is what I understood in the last 2 days of being at the Makkah Halal Forum. Is going to be the game changer for us, bringing in those transparent practices through the value chain, building trust, and then retaining trust.
Absolutely agree. The thing is about the mentorships. I'm former McKinsey staff, and as soon as McKinsey is one of the most successful companies, giants in the world. As soon as you enter the firm, you immediately are assigned a mentor and a buddy, two, buddy and mentor. And I still have my mentor from McKinsey. So he's Swedish, and we became friends with his wife and himself. And I remember when I was changing in my background, it was AmCham, World Bank, McKinsey, we discussed it before, very much of American culture, and switching to the Muslim world. I'm Alhamdulillah Muslim myself, and my family is, but there is a corporate differences. And I remember texting Victor that, are you guys with Stephanie in Dubai? So I want to pay a visit to you, because most of his career he worked for MENA. And he was so good in explaining me many things which were question marks in my mind. And mentorship is another thing which for truly we will be doing at Maida and other organizations, because we are considering scholarships to young girls. And to me, sending a young girl from even like from Azerbaijan, from the rural place of Azerbaijan, or be it Pakistan, to London or to New York to study, besides of getting a knowledge, this person also needs a guidance, how to navigate, how to survive, how to live, how to be accepted by that society, and how to become part of that society without losing your values and your belief and your religion. So that is why thank you for mentioning mentorship is very important. And I think that every single company has to have a budget for the training of their staff, be it women or men. There is one saying in, I believe it's global, but in Azerbaijan we refer it to one of the first oil millionaires in Azerbaijan who built the first school for girls, Haji Zeynal Abdin Tagiev. He was saying that by educating a man, you are educating a man. By educating a girl, you are educating the whole family. So let's always keep that in our mind. Dear Nawal, education and skill development from your perspective, which areas of education of training are most critical in your understanding for empowering Muslim women in halal industry?
Yes, as my sister Alia mentioned about the education, Muslim women in the halal industry need a training in different area to build power and confidence. For example, the area the woman needs to be educated is the halal certification standards, how to certify halal certification body, and the global halal trade, and halal product innovation, and leadership development are essential. As I mentioned in the beginning, as a HPDC, we saw this gap actually. We built many programs to fill these gaps and to educate people to know about the halal standards and the ISO and any standards that need to be known in order to be an auditor.
Okay.
Yes, because in Saudi Arabia we have actually lack of the auditor. That's why we built this program to educate people. And also for these people, their background is supposed to be in nutrition and food science, and also Sharia and pharmaceutical. These people, they can be an auditor to educate themselves to know about halal, and also the economic halal is really important for a woman to be a leader in this part. Actually, in my experience, when I moved from Saudi Halal Center to Halal Product Development Companies, I shift from the compliance part to the strategies and the halal economic parts. I saw a lot of potentials there for the companies to be in these sectors, halal sectors, even if non-Muslim countries, they request the halal product because they thought this will be healthier to other product. Thank you.
So you say that there is a potential, and we are the ones to work more on that. And again, I think here the business associations and professional networks are very important to deliver that message. Yes, we already know, I'm learning a lot from all those our forums, halal forums, from listening to Sheikh Abdullah to listening from Sheikh Yusuf and all our colleagues. And my kind of concern is that I don't mind at all, but I don't want us to lose this opportunity to non-Muslim countries, because we are also in need of development, and there is a role for all of us to play. Thank you, dear Nawal. And I am moving to my dear sister Diana. So what does women-led innovation look like when measured by performance, compliance, and execution rather than visibility or representation?
Now, just now, Sister Alia was talking about, even though we have the proliferation of technology, there's also chance for misinformation, and there's also chance for a lot of fraudulent activities. Now, when women lead, they normally, and we had this discussion before this panel, we lead always with purpose. I'm not saying men do not lead with purpose, but because of I think we call it the female instinct, the maternal instinct that we have, we always want to be purveyors of good in society.
Yeah.
So when women lead with technology, now at a previous conference I talk about AI, and it happens to be talking about the type of AI.
Okay.
Okay, so there's two types, cold AI and warm AI. Cold AI is what we see right now.
Okay.
Information being driven out, whether right or wrong, if you look at even simply as ChatGPT, you can realize that information is not mostly accurate.
No, unfortunately.
Exactly. Whereas when you try to shift into warm AI, and this is popularized by a technologist, he talked about, okay, warm AI, the governance that you build, your infrastructure, has to be with trust and transparency, which means, like what Sister Nawal said, compliance has to be in that. What Sister Alia said, trust has to be embedded. And so when women lead, for example, how like One Agrics, what we do, we always make sure when we build our system, the system has to have traceability, transparency, compliance, so that there is a layer of trust. So that's how, for at least for myself, in my leadership, I make sure One Agrics has that. And you'll be so happy to hear the women that are on One Agrics, they are also talking about trust. They are also talking about, hey, we put food on the table. There are billions of Muslim women and Muslim homes out there. And women, we are at the front of putting food on the table. So that is how, Muslim women leadership looks like when we marry technology and the human in the loop, trust, transparency, compliance into the industry. That's all I say.
Yes, women leadership has its own very different features, and studies are showing that women-led businesses are more sustainable, are more cautious about taking risks, more about caring about the people, and it can be discussed, is it good or bad, but again, so they're to be more sustainable. And talking about the sustainability, so to us, to the new generation, it can look like that sustainability is a new term, these UN sustainability goals, etc. But many centuries ago, it was already in Holy Quran, and again, we are the ones to promote it, to show our youngsters that these are our values. It's not something new. It has always been there. And thank you for saying for this gold worm, GPT.
It's warm AI and cold AI.
Okay.
It is popularized by a professor named Terence Maury. I encourage everyone here in the room to read his book.
Okay.
And he talked about warm AI. And I also, Vision 2030 is amazing to me. Let me tell you why. As a Muslim woman living in a secular country, I see that Vision 2030 is empowering women. And of course, I also see the investment in infrastructure. I really would love to see Saudi leading in warm AI. I mean, if I must say, because the Muslim countries, we have the opportunity now to make sure that faith base is backed by trust and transparency. Why should we rely on AI, which is cold, which is lack of, full of misinformation and no integrity?
Yeah, thank you. And I will ask you to text me the name of the book. Thank you. So, yeah, because AI is providing us a lot of information, a lot of knowledge, but is it true knowledge or not, we still don't know. And I would like to ask my friend Alia, how can we move from consuming knowledge to actively shaping knowledge in the halal industry?
So this is something which is very close to my heart.
Yes.
In my opinion, I think each and every one of us needs to write about our experiences.
Yes.
Write an article, if not a book, but we must document, because we've talked about misinformation and all that. We also have to recognize that majority of the narrative about the Muslim woman is not coming from us.
That's true.
And that is the most important thing when it comes to perception building. We are not weaklings, we are not victims, we are extremely strong. The women that I've met just here, but I think this will ring true to each and every person in this room. I think that makes it extremely important for us to be part of that narrative building. If you think about it, we talked about the digital tools to support your business. To me, that is part of the narrative building. So you're showing a different side of the Muslim woman who is leading the business, as uncomfortable as it is to be on social media. Trust me, it like kills me to just post that one post and look at it and rewrite it and use AI to fix the language. But we need to do that because it's extremely important moving forward to be able to control that narrative and perception of ourselves, because going back to the trust, the more people get to know us, the more they stop looking at us in the light, from that victim lens, the more they will want to invest in our business and support us and partner with us and collaborate with us.
That's so true, and it reminds me of our conversation in Baku at Kashalata Cafe when we were talking that we lack role models. We have many of them. We have maybe much more than other countries like non-IC countries. But as dear Diana mentioned, in some cases we are thinking that, is it modest if I put it? Am I comfortable to answer the comments and to take the comments? And in Soviet time, I was born in Soviet Union, we were told that there is no I, don't use I, all the time we. Now probably the new generation, it asks for more I, and we are the ones to help those new eyes who are coming to shape how do they want their I, me, to look like. And one of the initiatives of Maida Nazir, and definitely I have a list of my women speakers during our panels, to make short videos about themselves, which we'll be sharing on our social media. Get ready, Alia, you are one of them, because we have to show, because at the West, for them, they see Muslim women more, as you mentioned, victims. For them, Muslim women are what they read from media, the ones, unfortunately, right now in Afghanistan, who are not, in some cases, allowed to go to the park. But we are the ones to tell them the story that Khadija alayhi salam was there. She was older than alayhi salam prophet, and she offered the marriage, and she was a business leader, and she was the one who first believed into him. So these are the stories which we have to deliver, to share, and help to shape the knowledge. Thank you. Dear Sister Nawal, that's my last question to you, I promise. So future of women leadership. What does the future look like for Muslim women's leadership in the global halal economy?
Yes.
Because you mentioned that you are working globally with
Yes.
many countries around.
Yes, thank you. Actually, the future is really promising. The future is bring for women's leadership in the global halal economy. As more women are involved in decision making and halal strategy, many of them are involving leading innovation and also governance. The women can play many roles in different areas in halal sectors and can be like leading these halal sectors. For example, in Saudi Arabia, we have actually many women will be inshallah leading the halal in the future بإذن The halal sector will benefit from diversity perspectives that drive both economic growth and social impact roots in Muslim and halal tayyib. As I want to close just here because that is the last question for me.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. It's really important for women, Muslim women, to know about this sector is really a promising sector for her to be part of it. And we, as we are Muslims, women, we can have input in these sectors by having like going to the events and going to the international forums and to meet different women there and to have like discussed some opinions, some gaps, and we can fill these gaps by having some ideas from your point of view. Thank you so much for having me here. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. Again, we go around and we understand the awareness. We have to show those women that there is an opportunity. There are women leaders in halal, and their number is going to increase. And Saudi is really doing fantastic. As far as I know, within a year, 5 Saudi ladies were sent abroad as ambassadors of Saudi, and you are totally changing these days the vision of Saudi, how people would see that. And to everyone, whatever is in Mecca, it automatically becomes halal. And as Alia mentioned, it's not just food, it's modest fashion, it's pharmaceuticals, it's skincare, and these are the things which are very close to women's heart. And they can take those areas to invest, to learn, and to become leaders there. Diana, my last question to you, and tell me please, what practical models enable talent mobility for Muslim women across borders, trust, credibility, and operational control? This is from your experience.
Okay, so can you repeat the question again? So sorry for that.
Practical models.
Practical models, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so for the last 6 years, there's a framework that I work with. It's called, when in interviews they ask me, what would you suggest for women in leadership to grow? Now, I would always say that use the open mindset, which is OPEN. O, opportunity, P, people, E, evolve, and N, network. Now, very quickly, since it's the last one. So, O, opportunity, as we look here, as in halal, it's a $7 trillion industry and growing. Now, women need to have a seat on the table. The reason is because a huge percentage of that is in fashion, cosmetics, and food. So that's one. Grab the opportunity in whichever format. It can be digital, it can be Makkah Halal Forum.
Yeah.
Right? Exactly. So now, then we move to P, people. Surround yourself with what Alia said, mentors. Mentors are very important. But at the same time, as I've mentioned before, women need funding. Now, we need guidance in terms of funding. In a venture capital world, for example, 2% of funding goes to women. Muslim women, even less. So I would say, people, surround yourself with mentors, surround yourself with people that could introduce to you to funding opportunities. Now, men are our allies. In Islam, there's no feminist movement. We are liberated in the 7th century already. So make allies with men and grow. Now, next, E, evolve. Now, we do not want to be Kodak. For example, Kodak, long time ago, Kodak, Nokia, those are companies that were very popular, and now they are dead. So always evolve. Muslim women, we evolve. And look at us. We are able to do many things right now, not just, the notion that Muslim women are just supposed to be in the kitchen. That's not true. we can make economic decisions. And then next would be network. All of us here have the same consensus. We need to network. Makkah Halal Forum is a great opportunity. Many other networks. And I would like to also challenge every Muslim woman, go to the mainstream. Halal needs to be mainstream. We should network wide. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's really very inspiring going mainstream and networking and all of the things, but people are different, you know, there are introverts. So half of an hour ago you said that you're introvert. For example, I don't, you said, to be introvert.
I'm an introvert. Honestly, after this I'll take 2 days rest.
Okay, actually I also thought that I'm introvert, but then during the COVID time I realized that probably I am not. I love to be surrounded by people. And Aliyah, my last question to you, my dear friend, is availability of knowledge sufficient, or does effective leadership require more than access alone?
So, leadership requires applying knowledge and contributing to system development. Women must participate in policy discussions, regulatory development, and institutional forums. As key decision makers in consumer markets, our perspectives strengthen the halal ecosystem. So we make up, I think, more than 50% of the population.
Yeah.
And majority of the decisions are taken by women. So when you're talking about where to go on a holiday, what to buy and put in your kitchen, what's healthy for your family, which detergent to use, which fabric to use, which meat to buy, everything, these are decisions that are taken by women. So I think that it's really important that we need to, as this market is taking shape within our countries, like we mentioned, it's normal for us, you know, this is embedded in our countries. So we don't need to worry about, I don't have to think about, is the food halal in Makkah or Karachi or, you know. But we need to, as things are shaping up, we need to be part of the policy discussions and regulatory developments. So leadership emerges when knowledge is translated into real institutional influence. I think that for me is the most important thing that I want to leave everyone with today, that we need to bring these knowledges, this knowledge from the woman's perspective into the institutions so that it can have that multiplier effect. Thank you.
That's so true, because still even today in my country, my observation, and in many countries, at those policy making circles, when we watch TV or their social media sharings, we see only one or two women, and it excludes women from those circles which are taking decisions, making decisions. And for that we have to equip ourselves very well, be it halal economy or our labor participation, whatever, but we have to be the part of the dialogue which is shaping our future of our children. And information, knowledge, we will be producing our knowledge products also, because we want to know why in this country, in one country, we have a huge number of startups led by women, in another we don't have. Why in one country, like Qatar, women participation is about 50%, but in Egypt it's less than 20%. It's the same culture, it's the same religion, but results and statistics may be different. We have to find out why. And of course, halal economy, as it was discussed last 3 days, and this is the great thing with ICC. By the way, Dana, you remember in Sarawak there was a dinner, and it was presented by the Prime Minister of Indonesia and Malaysia, and they made such an impressive presentation. I have to admit, back to those days, 3 years ago, to me, halal economy, Islamic finance, it was something so far away from me. And that was the moment when I believed, I realized, I understood why is it important, how is it important, and what a tremendous potential there. So what we want to achieve, we want that these opportunities are accessible to women. We want to achieve that our girls, our women are well educated and equipped to make their decision. I am not saying that every single woman has to work. I am saying that every single woman has an equal access and a luxury of taking decision if she wants to work or not. If she wants to stay, I don't know, like at the entry level till the end of her life, or she wants to proceed and to become a leader. Woman has to have this choice, and then everything will come. So with that, given our time frames, I would like to finalize our session. Thank you very much, and my message from here to men, you said alliance, but I name it in more economic way, that men are all the time enablers. And usually I try to have one or two men also in our panel. I remember one of the UN colleagues were saying that when there are no men in the panel, it becomes manal. And I don't want to do womanals only. And men are enablers. You are the ones, dear men, thank you so much for listening to us, to hear us, to listen to us, and to take kind of a ways at home that this is something I want to reconsider. And for women, sometimes in Azerbaijani girls say, who is going to let me to do that? And I am saying your question should be, if you are committed to your values and to your purpose, you shall say, who is gonna to stop me? And I truly believe there should be a separate place in the hell for women who don't support other women. So let's support each other, let's mentor each other, let's network, and let's stay in touch. Thank you very much. Huge thanks on behalf of the chamber. Okay, I thought that I am delivering the one, so, and thank you so much. And I have for me, thank you, thank you.
مديرة الجلسة وضيوفها الكرام على هذه الجلسة الثرية بالمعلومات. حضورنا الكرام، نرحب بكم في هذه الجلسة التي تسلط الضوء على قصص النجاح والنماذج الريادية الملهمة في قطاع الحلال. في هذه الجلسة الثانية بعنوان قصص نجاح شراكات الحلال الناشئة في بناء المستقبل التجاري العالمي. هذا الحوار نستعرض من خلاله تجارب عمليات الشراكات استطاعت أن تنطلق من أفكار واعدة إلى منصات مؤثرة في السوق الدولي ومساهمة في رسم ملامح الجيل القادم من رواد الأعمال. ويتفضل مدير الجلسة الدكتور وائل دسوقي للترحيب بضيوفه الكرام وإدارة هذا الحوار.
شكرا جزيلا. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أهلا وسهلا and great being here today and as they say, keep the best to last, right? And they allow me to speak in Arabic sometimes because we have Arabic speaking speakers and English and there is translation out there. And this session is very exciting and interesting. Unicorn stories. So we have unicorn companies and potential unicorns out of the OIC countries. So please allow me to welcome Mr. Kerim Turi, the founder and chairman of Salam Booking from Turkey. Please. Yes. And Mr. Muhannad Taslaq, the chief executive, the director of investment at Alchemist Doha, one of the leading VC funds in the region. أهلا وسهلا. الأستاذ إسماعيل علمي, the CEO of Fadl Invest. And Mr. Ayman Al-Sawi, the founder and chief executive officer of Bukra Holding and Bukra Investing. Shukran Gazilan, and thank you very much for being here today. And this panel is very interesting, how to have and how to build a unicorn, how to support startups. From enablers' point of view, from a founder's point of view, from entrepreneurs' point of view, and from investment point of view as well. فيعني خلونا نبدأ بالأستاذ أيمن الصاوي. يعني بدأت شركة one of the leading, يعني من أكبر الشركات في fintech companies في مصر حاليا. يمكن آخر ريبورت 2025 أكثر 10 شركات مصرية جابت استثمار largest VC funding 2025. Bukra was number 4, right? $65 million, ما شاء الله, as investing in different formats. So you are on the way to be one of the leading unicorns, or you are already, ما شاء الله. I want to start with asking you. يعني allow me to speak in Arabic because this is Mecca. And so I will speak in Arabic and I will speak in English as well. موضوع الشريعة compliant investing, شريعة compliant financing, is there a real demand؟ هل في سوق كبير؟ هل في استهلاك؟ هل في لما بدأت بكرة كشريعة compliant saving products بأشكال مختلفة، يعني شايف ان فعلا في ديماند كبير يستحق ان يبقى في بلاتفورمز للسيفنج وللانفستمنت والبوزيشننج بتاعها هو ان هي شريعه كومبلاينت؟ حجم السوق ده ايه؟ بوتنشال بتاعه كبير ولا لا؟
اولا اسمحوا لي اشكركم ان انا موجود معاكم النهارده، يعني ثانك يو ايفري ون. السؤال ديفينتلي يس. هل في سوق للشريعه والشريعه جروينج ماركت؟ يس. انت لو بصينا على حجم السوق النهارده في الشريعه ماركت تقريبا، او حجم الاموال اللي بتضخ في السوق التمويل الاسلامي، بمعنى اصح التمويل المتوافق مع الشريعه، تلاقي حوالي اراوند 4 to 5 تريليون دولار تقريبا. حجم المسلمين اللي موجودين في العالم اراوند حوالي 25% 30% ميبي، رايت. ما اعرفش صح ولا غلط الارقام دي، بس دي يعني according to my knowledge يعني. فيس ديفينتلي يس، لان السؤال المفروض ما يبقاش هل ده هيبقى ترند ولا هل ده كده. هو السؤال do we have a supply for the Sharia compliant demand on the other side ولا لا؟ يعني هو ده السؤال. يس ديفينتلي يس في ديماند. السؤال النهارده هل هنلاقي في شريعه برودكتس او ستراكشر فاينانس برودكتس تقدر الناس تقدر تو انفست اند سيف ماني جوه الشريعه برودكتس ديت؟ يس اور نو. هو ده كان يعني ده بشوفه السؤال. ليه ابتديت بكره يعني اعرف الناس بيها الاول. It's an investment and saving platform for retail and small medium enterprise to invest their money في حاجة اسمها real world assets. Real world assets could be a real estate funds، ممكن تبقى precious metal funds أو صكوك حتى debt capital market products. أنا جيت اسمح لي يعني ده أنا جيت من العالم التاني بقى. قعدت حوالي 26 سنة في الليندنج سايت. كنت واحد من الناس من الفاوندنج تيم والمانجمنت تيم اللي أداروا واحدة من أكبر الشركات النون بانكينج فاينانشال سيرفيسز في ذات الوقت. وكان كل اللي بيجي يسألني يقول لي احنا هنعملها شريعة، أقول له لا أنا مش هعمل شريعة، أنا I'm looking for a structured finance products وعايز أعملها fundamentally right. ده اللي I'm focusing on. لغايه ما جت حصل سويتشنج مره واحده. وده كان بالنسبه لي تفكيري للشريعه كومبلاينس برودكتس وابستراكشن فاينانس برودكتس. ان مره كنت واحد في الديبيتس مع احد يعني شيوخنا الاجلاء وعلمائنا الاجلاء، فبقول له فقال لي ايمن بص، قال لي مقوله غيرت لي شيفتنج لتفكيري. قالت لي قال لي if the fundamentals is correct it will be a Sharia compliance. If the fundamentals were wrong, it will not be a Sharia compliance. فدايما كنت بفكر from a credit perspective. أنا عمال هل هي fundamentally صح yes or no؟ هل هي transparent؟ هل هي disclosed؟ هل structure clear وواضح for everyone؟ هل the structure the product is adding value to everyone, to adding value to the economy, adding value to the investor, adding value to everyone or not؟ فكنت دايما بفكر فيها كده. فلقيت انها كلها ان طريقه التفكير ديت بتليد تو اشريعه كومبلاينس برودكتس. هو ده كده. وابتديت اربط ما بين الستراكشر فاينانس برودكتس والفاينانسنج عامه والانفستمنت اند السيفنجز برضه. لما تبص حوالينا هتلاقي احنا وي سيف افري داي. هتلاقي حاجه اسمها الامبيدد سيفنج، بس احنا وي ار نوت ليبلد از امبيدد سيفنج. احنا بنبص ان احنا we save money نروح نشتري بيه property, real estate fund او real estate. ممكن to buy jewelry. ده is a sort of savings. ده savings it's an embedded. بس we don't know ان احنا بنسيف بالشكل التقليدي بطريقه traditional way. فذاتس واي ليه بصيت على السيفنج. it's more clear, it's a more structured products, it's backed by asset, backed by a structure, a clear structure, economically clear واضح. if you save the money هتلاقي you will get مثلا a yield on a regular basis. ففي transparency في a clear which is ده more اكتر ناحية الشريعة products او الستراكشر فاينانس products بمعنى اصح. لما تبص على الانفستمنت من ناحية الانفستمنت yes it's right صح ما غلط صح، بس it's more about it's higher risk, higher risk, higher return. ما يبقاش فيه clear structure، ما يبقاش فيه transparency اكتر اوضح، لان it depends on the market the future و it depends على حاجات كتير. فذاتس واي ليه انا focusing on that saving and how to link the saving from the liability side, that demand which is the demand, to the asset side وهو which is the supply. ان انا how to connect the demand and supply in the Sharia and the structural finance products and comply with the Sharia principles. فذاتس واي ليه I'm focusing كده. فالسؤال definitely yes, we have a lot of work ان احنا لازم نعمله علشان نقابل الديماند، حجم الديماند من الاسلامك او من الاسلامك او الشريعه كومبلاينس، الناس اللي هم they are looking for an Islamic way or sharia compliance products to invest and save directly فيها يعني.
ممتاز. يعني في طلب وفي سوق وفي ديماند، بل بالعكس ممكن السبلاي او الشريعه كومبلاينت فاينانسنج برودكتس هي اللي مش كافيه. يعني ده كي تيك اواي. الحاجه الثانيه الشريعه كومبلاينت فاينانشال سيرفيسز هي مينلي مبنيه على ان يكون في فاليو حقيقيه، which is في حاله بكره هي real assets real asset classes مش ويمكن هنا الفرق. يعني يمكن الايه الكريمه احل الله البيع وحرم الربا، عشان كان في ناس كتير بتسال طيب ما البنوك التقليديه والبنوك الاسلاميه ما هو نفس بس هو طبعا الفرق هنا وهنا ان الفاليو في البنوك او في الشركه كومبلاينت فاينانشال برودكتس او في ايا كانت هي ريال بزنس او ريال فاليو او ريال برودكتس. فاينانسنج بزنس بعينه مش تجاره فلوس فقط يعني. ويمكن دي تيك اواي مهمه جدا. وخلينا موف ل اسماعيل عالمي. tokenization of real estate properties. يعني يمكن جاي من فلوريدا، بتبني شركه اللي هي فضل انفست ريل استيت كراود فاندنج بشكل ما او باخر. طيب ليه الريل استيت؟ وحتى يمكن من الاسم فضل انفست عملت له ليبلينج كشريعه كومبلاينت او حلال فاينانسنج او حلال انفستنج. ويمكن في ناس تقول ان الريل استيت بطبيعته كله حلال وكله شريعه كومبلاينت. فايه الموضوع ده؟
So just to explain, like everyone asked me first of all, like where the name Fadl come from, and it's basically like Fadlullah, because let's say that like our religion is like a gift from Allah first of all, and on the other side, like everyone has, I have this question many times, if like the investment is Sharia compliant or not. And of course, like basically we can have like some structures and like the debt structure that can be like Sharia compliant. But like when we talk about like more like commercial buildings or like commercial investment, there is like some, for example, if we pool the money for like a convenience store, right? This convenience store can like sell products that are not halal, and that came up to like non-halal return to our investors. So we need to pay attention first and foremost, like which contract we use on our investments. But on the other side as well, like as I mentioned before, like those commercial building, what they have inside. Are they like selling halal product? Are they like having like some, I don't know, that can be like a shop that is like, for example, it's really common on the US and Western world.
Casinos, like, selling wine, alcohol, nightclubs.
Exactly, nightclub that can be like just a regular like a convenience store that sell alcohol, sell like pork, for example. They have lotto inside. Or we can say just like a regular tattoo shop. I mean like tattoos are haram in Islam. But like that mean like this, the person like renting this place is giving back like haram money to the investors. So we need to pay attention to that as well. And even like on the debt structure, like of course we have like Sharia debt and some debt that are like, let's say like packaged as like halal. But if you really see the terms and everything, it's not like really following what our Sharia and the standards are we're having on the Sharia law as well. And for example, if you check like just the some standard of Sharia law, like if you have like less than 30% of debt, it's still Sharia. But for some of our customers that we like interviewed, for them like they really want like 100% pooled money that like we put in together as a Muslim and invest on that. So that's where like we can have like a Sharia compliant investment or no. And the more you dig into it, the more you see like where like the Sharia is. And again, as we mentioned, like one of our panelists 2 days ago mentioned, we need to have like a kind of a halal rating. How much like your product is halal. And the more you dig into it, you're gonna see, for example, we on our side, we try to have like even the contract with our research trust fund, etc. We wanna have like Sharia contract that respect the Sharia. And also like the investment, as we mentioned, again, like that can be like commercial building that sell like non-halal product and whatsoever, and we really need to pay attention to that. and know what we're offering to our people, not just like label it as a Sharia compliant because we're like less than 3% of the debt, for example.
Very, very important, because alhamdulillah, mashallah, people living in Mecca and Saudi Arabia are blessed, because probably the real estate business is almost 100% or 99.99% Sharia compliant. But in some other countries where you can acquire a commercial property and the businesses that is being done there, some of them are not Sharia compliant. So it's important to be very picky and very selective in some other countries. Yes, this is very important. So moving from savings to real estate to tourism and maybe to fashion, Mr. Karim, you've been involved in the halal business from the tourism perspective, salam booking, and you've been living in Turkey, and now you moved to London, and you are building a tourism platform using AI. So how could you label tourism as halal versus non-halal in the technology space?
I call it like if you travel somewhere and do something haram, it's haram travel. It's like instead of calling halal haram, it's like I tend to call it as Muslim-friendly travel, Muslim-friendly tourism. And what is it is you focus the lifestyle, values, and the beliefs of the Muslims while you are designing a travel for the Muslims. You see, what I can tell is, focus the needs of the Muslims and build everything around it depending on that. It's what I call as Muslim-friendly travel. It's a big market, like population is big. Only Umrah is around like $20 billion. And according to Dinar Standard and Crescent Rating MasterCard reports, it's over $200 billion we're talking about.
$200 billion?
Billion dollars.
Yes.
It's only international. And
the Hajj and Umrah size, or the Muslim tourism market?
It's all together, like
Yes.
International Muslim travel is around like $200 billion. It's a huge, huge market. However, till recently, people don't care about the needs of the Muslims. They make the mainstream travel what it is. That's it. You take it or leave it. Kind of a travel approach was there. Even before, like 10 years ago, major airlines were not caring about halal food that time. So we Muslims, we deserve nothing less. We need to learn first of all this. What we done at Modanisa during those days in 2011, we said that stop. Our women needs different style, different clothing, and because if they need it, we need to give it to them. Like we can't beg it from Paris to provide it to us. This is exactly the same thing. We need to work together with all the parties to provide the lifestyle fitted services for Muslims all around the world. And when you look to France, there are like 65 million people live there, but they have their Club Meds. All the food is French, and all the entertainment is French. We have 2 billion people. We have very distinctive needs, like food, first of all. Second of all, avoiding the non-halal stuff like gambling, nudity. Third is seclusion for the families, seclusion for the ladies. Those are all big needs of the Muslims. A friend of mine, when I was dealing with this, I was talking to explain what is Muslim-friendly travel. He told me one day, man, I have like my wife is hijabi, and I have 2 kids. When I go to a vacation, it's like going to a dentist. There will be some relief at the end, but there will be always pain involved in it. That's why we are here inshallah, to change it, to provide what is good, what is needed for the Muslim travelers all around the world.
Especially that the market size is $200 billion. I mean, this is huge. It's a massive business opportunity on one side, and on the other side, it's thawab as well. So, mashallah, you're wearing two different hats because not only coming to Mecca for Umrah and Hajj, maybe traveling to many other destinations. Yesterday, we had a delegation from Bosnia and Herzegovina, and they have amazing culture, amazing mountains, amazing landscape, and Muslim-friendly tourism as well. And the same in many other countries that are not really maybe promoted very well as the most famous touristic destinations. So yes, this is a wonderful business opportunity. So speaking of different regions and different countries and different opportunities, Alchemist Doha VC, you've been investing in different countries, including GCC, including Central Asia.
Right.
So you already invested أو يعني عملتوا استثمارات مختلفة في دول زي كازاخستان أعتقد، في دول زي أوزبكستان، وده شيء رائع. يعني يمكن الفي سي فاندنج أغلبه بيتوجه ل سيليكون فالي بيزد ستارت ابس اي اي كومبانيز، بس يعني محتاجين يكون في في سي فاندنج مركز على دول زي سنترال ايجيا، زي اندونيسيا، زي نيجيريا، ويكون ده اوبجكتيف مش بس سكاوتنج او لوكينج فور ذا بيست يعني انفستمنتس، بس يعني هدف تو سبورت ذس ايكو سيستم. ايه الفروقات يعني لما عملتوا استثمارات في سنترال ايجيا؟ ايه الفرق بينها وبين كماركت اوبورتونيتي، كبوتنشال، كجروث، كايكو سيستم؟
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. احنا اول ما بلشنا بالكيمست دوحا فند، بس عشان اعطي بريفنج عنه، الكيمست دوحا فند هو عباره عن بارتنرشيب بين الحكومه القطريه QRDI وذا الكيمست اكسلريتور بسان فرانسيسكو. الهدف كان كله انه نوفر بيئه للانتربرنورز، اوكي، نعطيهم the good of the Silicon Valley plus what we're having ما شاء الله هلا as the great explosion of entrepreneurship بالمنطقه. ف that's what we wanted to work on. ولما بلشنا الثيسس تاعتنا كان هدفنا اول شيء to go in and invest بعربs ومسلمز بمنطقتنا اللي احنا موجودين فيها، and to go east باتجاه تركيا، سنترال ايجيا وهي المناطق، او نلاقي اكسباتس من هاي المناطق بتك هابز زي لندن، سان فرانسيسكو او نيويورك. فكان عندنا برودر فيجن نتحرك عليها. what I noticed and this is what يعني انا عشت 18 سنه 20 سنه بامريكا، انه معظم الشركات الستارت ابس اللي اسسها هم immigrants، فهم اوريدي مش موجودين بامريكا، they came into the US. واحنا كان بدنا انه نحاول نلاقي جيمز، يعني جولد جيمز بدنا اياهم يكونوا موجودين. and we know that Central Asia، تركيا in specific، GCC، مصر، هاي مناطق عم ولاده لانتربرنورز. ففتنا اللي فادنا انه بحمد ربنا، الحمد لله رب العالمين، بالفتره اللي بلشنا ندخل فيها على هاي المناطق خصوصا في سنترال ايجيا كانت الحكومات قاعده هي عم تدعم كمان. يعني بمعنى انه الحكومه عم تدعم انه تعال زور البلد، we're gonna co-invest, look at the startups، ابني فيها. المنطقه كبيره فيها ريسورسز كثير عاليه، والفاوندرز هناك عم بيبنوا they're building great things، دائما موجوده. اذا بقارنها بتركيا، معظم هاي الشركات اللي موجوده بسنترال ايجيا they use Turkey as their launch pad، فبيستخدموا تركيا as the launch pad، then they start going على اوروبا وعلى امريكا. وطبعا يعني تركيا has a great influence على هاي المناطق كامله، واتس very advanced، فاحنا بنعتبرها انه هي الاساس لهي المنطقه كامله. وطبعا لما نطلع على مناطق بشمال افريقيا فور اكزامبل، يعني كلنا بنعرف انه مصر هي اكبر دوله بتطلع entrepreneurs ما شاء الله في العالم، و they're all successful. وانا I was blessed to be part of Tech وادي مع الله يرحمه الدكتور اسامه حسنين، وشفنا كثير من العرب وسبيسيفيكلي مصريين عم بيكونوا موجودين بسيليكون فالي. فاللي عم نشوفه حاليا I think احنا في مرحله ذهبيه بلشتها المملكه العربيه السعوديه بانها اطلقت العنان لرياده الاعمال. طبعا الامارات موجوده، بس السعوديه خلقت جو منافس كبير للكل. الكل صار بده يجي على المنطقه، حتى الفندز اللي موجوده برا they want to fundraise من المنطقه العربيه. وهون احنا حاولنا انه بقطر انه نلاقي لنا نيش معين، انه احنا وي انفست بالانتربرايز ستارت ابس اللي هم البي تو بي بزنسز، لانه قطر هي عباره عن ستيت هي صغيره ككونسيومرز، بس ما شاء الله they're very big in their enterprise support. فعم نلاقي ما بين ايش الحكومات عم تعمل as sovereign funds as regulations as founders موجودين في هذيك المناطق، شيء كثير appealing للانفسترز. واحنا بدنا نحاول كمان نكون distinguished، يعني we want to go على مناطق ما حدا عم بيروح عليها. طبعا on a greedy level احنا we want to make good returns عليهم.
حلال.
بس on a different note if we support هذه المنطقة، واحنا دائما نحكي عليها السيلك رود، يعني حتى طريق الحرير، دعم المسلمين ودعم العرب ودعم هاي المنطقة بخلينا نبطل محتاجين نستغل ونستخدم تكنولوجيز عم تجينا من برا. فأنا بحب يعني شخصيا هاي الثيسس تاعتي يعني إن شاء الله.
والله رائع ومهم، وهي الحقيقه اتس ميشن، يعني مش بس طبعا بزنس اوبورتونيتي في الاخر، بتعمل ديو ديليجنس، بتشوف الارقام، بتشوف الار او اي، بس يعني اجين فيها انتنشن تو سبورت. يعني لسه كنا امبارح كان في ديسكشن عن بعض التك ستارت ابس اللي جزء من اسمها مسلم، مش عايز اقول عشان يعني وللاسف توتالي اكوايرد بفندز اغلبنا ما يحبش ان يكونوا مسلم نيمد او ليبل ستارت ابس اكوايرد بفندز، يعني يعني عندهم اغراض واهداف يعني مختلفه. فمهم يكون في في سي فاندنج وفي انفستمنت فاندنج تو سبورت الانتربرنورز او الفاوندرز اكروس الاي سي عشان تجرو اورجانيكلي من غير ما يكون في اهداف اخرى يعني. ومن هنا يمكن موضوع الانفستمنت اند سيفنج اند خليني يمكن اروح لاستاذ ايمن الصاوي، عشان بكره دايما بيعجبني بكره يليبل بكره از سيفنج ابلكيشن للادخار مش للاستثمار، مع ان يمكن اغلب التكنولوجي او بلاتفورمز او شركات تانية دايما بيبوزيشن كانفستمنت. فليه سيفنج مش انفستمنت؟ وليه بكره مش بنك بيعمل سيفنج او يمكن اسلامك فاينانسنج او سيفنج برودكت يعني؟
اوكي. ليه سيفنج مش انفستمنت؟ لان اتس توتالي ديفرنت، يعني فرق كبير ما بين السيفنج والانفستمنت في طريقه التفكير فروم يوزر سايد. يعني السيفنج في البدايات دايما بيبقى باكد باي تراست، وراه تراست. خليني اشرحها لك من اني ناحيه بالظبط. من ناحيه الفاوندر ليه انا فكرت في السيفنج كومبير للانفستمنت، ولا من ناحيه الفي سي نفسه ليه بينفست في سيفنج بلاتفورم، ممكن ينفست في سيفنج بلاتفورم وممكن ينفست في انفستمنت بلاتفورم بطريقه مختلفه ويتلاقي توتالي ديفرنت جيم، ولا من ناحيه اليوزر نفسه او من ناحيه الريتيل نفسه. فلو هبص لها من ناحيتي، لما جيت فكرت فيها، انا مواطن مصري عايش في مصر. طبيعه المصريين سيفرز، طبيعه المصريين اتربوا زمان من صغرهم على شهاده البنك، ويروح البريد المصري ويحط فلوس ويحوش في حساب السيفنج ويعمل الشهاده بتاعته شهاده للبنك يعني. فالكالتشر المصري هو سيفرز مش انفستمنت، مش انفستور. ما بيتقبلش الهاي ريسك، ما بيتقبلش الهاي ريتيرن، هو بيتقبل حاجه اسمها الفيكسد انكم برودكتس، اللي هو ازاي احط فلوس ويجي لي عائد شهري اعيش منه. فده كان سبب ليه انا لما بصيت للفيكسد انكم برودكت، اي بليف ان الفيكسد انكم برودكت هو شايفه ان هو ده ايديال برودكت فور للمصريين يعني. لما فكرت فيها برضو من زاويه تانية، لقيت طيب المصري بيدور او المصريين او ايمرجن ماركت عامه هم طبيعتهم سيفرز وبيدوروا على الشريعه برودكتس او الشريعه كومبليت لوس. قلت طيب عشان تو سيف الفلوس ديت فلازم احطها في اسيتس عشان تبقى باكد باي اسيتس. لما اجي احطها في اسيتس يبقى انا بحقق للايجيبشن او للمصريين الهيدجنج، بحقق لهم التوازن او البالانسنج ما بين الريسك وما بين اليلد. بحقق لهم ان يبقى في monthly yield او recurring yield ليهم بيدوروا عليه، يبقى ده يبقى منافس او موازي للبانكينج سيكتور لما باجي ابص للبنوك، لان خلاص ده طريقه الاويرنس بتاعنا وده المايند سيت بتاع تفكير المصريين او معظم اغلبيه المصريين يعني. فده السبب ليه اخترت السيفنج او السيفنج، عشان طبيعته مربوط بالستراكشر برودكت، وطبيعته ان هو بيبقى اغلبه بيبقى شريعه، بيبقى كومبلاي والشريعه وشريعه كومبلاينت برودكتس يعني. لما فكرت فيها كده. طيب ليه السؤال الثاني، طب ايه الفرق بيني وبين البنوك، او ايه الفرق ما بين السيفنج او البلاتفورم او الفينتك، والفرق ما بين السيفنج او البنوك والشركات يعني. هو في العالم بتاعنا في الفاينانس مفيش صح وغلط، هو كله صح، ما فيش حاجه صح. اتس ا ديفرنت جيم وديفرنت مايند سيت وديفرنت حاجات كتيره قوي يعني. ما بنقدرش نقول صح وغلط، بس هي اتس اباوت سكيلينج، مين اللي هيكبر يعني. انت لما انت تيجي تبص على الايجيبشن ايكونومي هتلاقي تقريبا 2 تايمز البارل الايكونومي اكبر من الاقتصاد الرسمي ب 2 تايمز تقريبا يعني، او الاقتصاد الغير رسمي اكبر من الاقتصاد الرسمي 2 تايمز. محدش سأل نفسه السؤال هو ليه الاقتصاد الغير رسمي اكبر من الاقتصاد الرسمي ب 2 تايمز. يعني الارقام المعلنه عن السوق المصري دي ارقام الاقتصاد الرسمي، ده لا، ده في اقتصاد اكبر من كده بكتير، بس هو غير معلن. ليه؟ لكذا سبب. معظم المصريين سواء المسلمين او المسيحيين بيدوروا على الشريعه برودكتس، والمسيحيين قبل المسلمين بيدوروا على الشريعه. ليه؟ لانها اتس اباوت فاندمنتالز، بيدوروا على ان الشريعه، شايفين ان الشريعه فاندمنتالي صح، وبيدوروا شايفين ان فاندمنتالي يعني فاندمنتالي ده فاندمنتالي انها ترانسبيرنت ديسكلوجر، فاندمنتالي ان اتس ا وين وين، ايفري ون هيكسب من المعامله. وده لما بتكلم مع اخواتنا بسالهم وبعرف ليه بتدور على الشريعه برودكتس، يقول لك انا شايف انها صح، واكيد هي الصح. فمعظم المصريين بيدوروا على الشريعه برودكتس، هذه اول واحده. الحاجه الثانيه، ناس كتير من الناس اللي ما بيحطوش فلوسهم في البنوك المصريه بيدوروا ان هم يشغلوا فلوسهم بطريقه او اخرى، مش عدم ثقه في الجهاز المصرفي، عدم ثقه ان هم سواء اسلاميك بانك او تراديشنال بانك ان هم مش اسلامي. لان في كونسبت عندنا هو اسمه خلط الاموال. خلط الاموال، انا لو ما احط الفلوس في بنك، انا ايش عرفني دي فلوس دخلت على، مع ان الجهاز المصرفي بيحاول يعالج الموضوع ده وكده. فده خلق لينا سبيس كذا شركات فينتك للي عايز يدخل في السبيس دوت ويخلق سواء سيفنج او انفستمنت بلاتفورم، يكبر في السوق المصري، يكبر بطريقه كبيره. والحمد لله ده تستد الكلام ده اللي انا بقوله. وانس بعد ما ابتديت بكره، بصراحه ده كان سربرايزنج ليا، سربرايز بالنسبه لي ما كنتش متوقعها. لما ابتديت اعمل اول مره في السوق المصري ريتيل صكوك فور ريتيل، فوجئت لقيت ان 1 مانث 10,000 واحد بيستثمروا في الصكوك، مع اني ما كنتش اصلا يعني ما كنتش فاتحها للافراد دايركتلي، كنت فاتحها للانستتيوشن في الاول فلقيت ان الناس بتسال بتدور عايزه تنفست في صكوك. فاستغربت. اتس هاير ييلد، اتس ترانسبيرنت ستراكشر، ويل ستراكشر، اريتد انسترومنت، حاجات كتير خلت ان عوامل النجاح وشريعه كومبلاينت برودكتس وما فيهاش كونسبت خلط الاموال. فده كان اهم ميزه للفينتك بتميزنا عن الجهاز، زائد انها فولي ديجيتال. يعني انت النهارده قاعد بتخش الداونلود وتعمل KYC وكونتراكت وتداونلود وتعمل العقد وتفند بالظبط ان 5 minutes، تعمل كل حاجه، غير لما تروح لبنك وتسحب فلوس او حد وتفتح حساب. ف we are كل experience more convenient، زائد transparent، مفيش نو مارجن هيدن، مفيش فيز، مستخبيه، كله ترانسبيرنت على الاب. وده عشان احنا اوريدي لايسنس واخدين تحت هيئه الرقابه الماليه في مصر، فلازم كل حاجه بنقولها وترانسبيرنت ويبقى كلير ستراكشر. ففي مميزات لقيت خلت ان الافراد او ان في ديماند على اللي زي شركات الفinTech زينا وغيرها بتكمل، وما بسميهاش بتكمبيت، انا ما بسميهاش، بسميها بتكومبلمنت ايتش اذر. يعني انا بشوف ان في تكامل ما بيني وما بين البنوك. ما هي فلوس الناس دي بتروح فين في الاخر؟ بتعدي من تشانل بنك، يعني هي معديه على بنك وبتروح في الاخر علشان، بس مع اختلاف اللي بيني وبين البنك هو توظيف الاموال نفسها، طريقه التوظيف. انا بوظف، يمكن البنك ما عندوش الرفاهيه توظيف الاموال، ان هو بياخد الفلوس وبيروح يسلف بيها، ما يقدرش يروح يستثمر في ريل استيت فاندز او يروح يشتري بيها ذهب. الرفاهيه ديت عشان البنوك مور ريجليتد تحت السنترال بانك اوف ايجيبت او اي سنترال بانك، فصعب ان انت تبقى عندك مرونه الحركه زي شركات الفinTech. فلما تيجي تبص على السوق زي المصري هتلاقي مين اللي زي مصر؟ السوق النيجيري برضو، نيجيريا هتلاقيها قريبه مننا، نفس الكونسبت نفس الكالتشر برضو. هتلاقي موروكو، لما تيجي تبص على العماني ماركت نفس الفكر. لو هما في ماركتس هتلاقي ان الناس بتدور على السيفنج او مور انترستد انها تو انفست او تو سيف فلوسها بطريقه دايركت او اندايركتلي في ريل استيت، في اسيتس. ده اتس سيفر، ده سيفرز على طول. اي حد بينفست فلوسه في اسيتس ده سيفرز، ده مش انفستمنت، ده ما اسموش انفستمنت. ستوك ماركت، فينشر كابيتال، اسهم، ايا كان الاستثمار. هبني الانفستمنت ان انا مثلا ابني مشروع او ادخل في مشروع صناعي لوجيستيك، ده اسمه
في ريسك عالي، في
بالظبط، في ريسك، في هاير ريسك هاير ريتيرن، في بروبابيلتي، في ده اسمه انفستمنت. فالفرق ما بين الانفستمنت والسيفنج فرق مهم كبير جدا، احنا بنعمله كل يوم بس احنا مش فاهمينه. احنا كلاسيفايد ازاي في العلم او في الباك اند يعني.
صحيح. يعني هو مهم كمان تنوع البرودكتس. يعني يمكن البنوك عشان الريجوليشنز بيبقى عندهم ليميتيشنز وباريرز كبيره، وفي نفس الوقت الاكسسبيليتي. يعني انا دايما فاكر ان في ناس كتير بيدخل على بكره كابلكيشن او ثاندر جيم، يعني بيدخل كل يوم شويه يحول فلوس، يحط مبلغ في صك، يحط مبلغ في اسهم، يعني فالاكسسبيليتي مهم.
وخاصة الجنزي بقى سهل جدا بيدخلوا وبيخرجوا، والتراست مش بيج جيم بالنسبة لهم. يعني هم عايزين بيبصوا للحاجات الترندي.
بالظبط.
ففي ابلكيشنز، مالتيبل ابلكيشن كتير، يعني في السوق المصري في 4 و5 وكلهم شطار وناجحين جدا. بس هل هم كفايه؟ احنا 120 مليون. هل هم حد هيبقى فيه وينر واحد جيم هو اللي هيكسب؟
صحيح.
ديفينتلي نوت. هتلاقي مالتيبل اكسبيرينس، مالتيبل اسيت كلاسز، في حاجات كتير وكلنا هنخش. كم واحد فينا عنده كذا حساب في بنك؟ عادي.
صحيح.
بنفتح كذا حساب، كم كريدت كارد في الوالت بتاعتنا. فطبيعي هتلاقي ان نفس اليوزر هيبقى عندي لسبب ما عند شركه من الشركات لسبب اخر، هيبقى فاتح حساب بره مصر لسبب ثالث، فعادي يعني. فاتس دايفرسيفيكيشن في النتورك بتاعنا
طبعا. ويمكن دي مهمه جدا، مهمه للجين زي، مهمه كمان للسمول انفسترز والاكريديت انفسترز. ويمكن من هنا هسال مستر علمي على الاكريديت انفسترز والانجل انفسترز والفي سي فاندنج، يعني الانفستمنت سبيس بشكل عام. امتى اروح كفاوندر لستارت اب عايز اتطلع اكون يعني كامل، بلاش يونيكورن، يعني يمكن احنا بنفضل ترمينولوجي الكامل، ان الكامل از مور ريزيلينت وبيعدي الصعاب. يعني يمكن وقت الكوفيد بيحصل مشاكل مع التك ستارت ابس والانترنت بابل، بس الكاملز ار فيري يعني ستيبل في كل الظروف. فامتى اروح لانجل انفستور وامتى اروح لفي سي فاندنج؟
So لو كما قلت يا أستاذ دكتور وائل, it's one of the difficult phases of a founder is actually like fundraising, and basically it's more angel investors that like believe on the mission, on the vision of the startup first, that like start with the investment. And then, you know, for example, all the respect to the VCs and the big companies here, but like most VCs have like strict rules. Each VC has its own policy, and they have bigger asset under management, so they have to report to bigger institutions. So when they take a risk on an investment, they really need to be sure that like this startup will actually like really be fruitful and give the product. So that's where we are actually on our stage. So we basically, let's say, like put the VCs on a secondary stage, and we just focused more on like angel investors, people that really believe in us, believe on the vision, and people that really want to invest in us and can push us to like scale and move forward. And at a later stage, that's where we can like approach the VCs or like the asset manager and so on, or family offices, because they have like policies, they have standards, they have people to report to. And the first thing you have is like they need traction. They want to know if you have traction. And VCs, family offices and whatsoever, it's you have like one shot. So you basically, you go there, you have to be prepared, you have to be ready, and they invest in you. If not, like you're just gonna lose yourself and you don't have like another chance with them. So that's why like the angel investors are really important on the Sharia world. Alhamdulillah, nowadays we see like people really getting aware of what they invest on. They want to have like halal return and halal income. And that's where like even like you can find like Muslim investors, but sometimes they're only like driven by the return, the ROI, and don't like really follow the vision or the mission. And it's really important at the beginning, because those angel investors can like lead you to introduction. You can meet like other syndicates of angel investment and so on. So that's why like the VCs always come like at the later stage, usually at like a Series A or Series B like stage, because usually, as I mentioned, they report to like bigger investors, they report to people, and that's where like they really pay attention on the kind of investment and the risk they take in on like on like the investment they do in. And that's why like the angel investors are like play a really big role actually. And even like if we find like angel investors that like interested on the startup, like sometimes they're not like really beneficial for us, because you can, as I mentioned, it can be like an angel investor only interested on the return, but not like really interested on what we're building, and not the vision and the mission of the startup. So sometimes it doesn't like really align with like the culture, the policy of the startup, and the mission behind it. So that's why like we kept like the VCs as like a second stage, and inshallah once we're gonna be like more solid and like have like more a ground like on the market, that's where we switch to that. And the best thing, as we heard from our mentors and advisors, it's really, you first of all need to have a connection on the VC, and at the second part they will approach you if you have like a solid mission, vision, and startup you're working on.
That's why they are called angels, angel investors. So there is an appetite to support, not only to make money. VCs, maybe they have LPs and someone asking for the ROI, and but individual angel investors, they're spending their personal money. They expect ROI, of course, but they are supporting other people. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Mr. Karim, the dilemma of internationalization, how to scale the company internationally is very challenging in two terms. One of them is limited resources, and the second thing is which market to go for next. So you were focused on Turkey, and now you are targeting. I mean, which market to choose, and how to scale, and how it works? This internationalization dilemma.
It's a $1 million question.
Yes, it is.
to answer. And as a startup, as a trailblazer at the beginning, like if you're the first in this area, and the Modernisa case, we were the first, and you need to convince everyone. You need to convince your customer that you're a reliable merchant, that you're going to serve to those customers. You need to also convince the suppliers, saying that give me your stuff and I will sell it. You need to convince the investors that it's going to be a scalable business and you can scale it all together. While you're doing it, first you test it in one market to see how it goes, to see the reaction. In the Modernisa case, the need was pan-global. That was there. The pain was there. And when we get in, immediately the next day, like in 2 months, people started to buy from Germany. We literally make the package without knowing who is buying it, bring it to the post office with our hands. And people were calling us if it's going to be coming to Germany or not. And so you start with that, first convincing all the parties, then finding a global need. If you can spot that global need, expansion is much, much easier. And in this travel case also, when you have your purpose over there, you want to help Muslims explore the world with confidence and with convenience. If you can put it there, it's again a pan-global need. You see the pain and you promise a no pain travel for your customers. Then with the help of the technology, of course, you don't need to be local. After having your first test in the market, proof of concept, then you don't need to go one by one. You can be global thanks to the technology, thanks to the current platforms that we are using. And also, years ago, technology was an obstacle. Like when I first get into the business of e-commerce in 2011, I literally prayed to God help me on the technology side, because I see the technologists play with the entrepreneurs like a cat and mouse. If you don't know it, you're done. And I pray it, and God accept my prayers. I had a great team together, and we made a top of the line e-commerce platform from Turkey, and we started to sell to the world. And 85% of our sales was export from Turkey. And we were 5 years in a row e-export champions of Turkey. Inshallah, we will do the same thing. But Salam Booking, after this proof of concept, we'll be adding new markets all together in a global phase.
MashaAllah. So the thing is, before thinking of what kind of strategies, what kind of partners, you need to consider a global product, to build a product that is compatible with many consumers in different countries, and then your job will be much easier. I remember a few years ago, I was in Washington. It was a competition, and a 70-year-old lady, she was pitching her idea. She was 70, and she was saying that I want to test in the US market and go global. So US market is 300 million population. So she wanted to test in the US market and then go global. So from day one, she is building a global product, and she's 70. So having this orientation is very critical. And this would make me move to asking you امتى اقول اني جاهز to go international. يعني كتير بنشوف شركات بياخدوا انفستمنت بيكبروا بينجحوا في اللوكال ماركت، عندهم كونكشنز، عندهم سوق، عارفين السوق كويس. امتى اقول ان هم جاهزين يتوسعوا كروس بوردر وبعد كده انترناشونال وبعد كده يمكن جلوبال؟
هلا احنا اذا بدنا نطلع على في نوعين من الفاوندرز. في فاوندرز بيحلوا مشكله لوكال من البدايه، يعني لقوا مشكله عندهم في المنطقه اللي هم عم بيشتغلوا فيها ف they start with it and they start building and then until they can go outside. وفي فاوندرز they start global immediately. So زي ما حكيت عن السيده اللي التقيتها بواشنطن. So and mostly these are deep tech companies, انه something that can be used by اكثر من حدا، مش شرط باللوكيشن. احنا اللي لقيناه انه if you're a company عم تشتغل locally، عم تشتغل على البزنس تاعك وبنيت، انا دائما بنصح الفاوندرز انه كل قد ما بتقدر من السوق، تعلم، خلي فيدباك لوب عندك عاليه، انه البرودكت عم بيكون ماشي مع الكاستمرز تاعونك و you're making a lot of revenues there. يعني يعني ما تروح على مكان ثاني اذا انت مش دارس هذا الموضوع. الشركات بتكون جاهزه تطلع على مناطق ثانيه لما يصفي السوق صغر عليها. they want to expand، بدهم يكبروا اكثر. ودائما بنفضل انه هم يروحوا على اسواق هم بيعرفوها او بيعرفوا عنها او شبيهه بالماركت تاعهم. ودائما احنا بنحكي try not to spend كثير مصاري وانت عم تطلع على هاي الماركتس. you have to test، لازم تجرب. يعني اكبر مثال، كثير من الشركات عم بتحاول تيجي على السعوديه، تكون هي بتخدم مناطق ثانيه. اللي بيصير انه هم يعني the clever way is you hire somebody or you partner مع حدا معين، بتشوف الماركت then you start deploying more money. فالاكسبانشن is a chicken and egg situation للفاوندرز. وبيعتمد على الخطه المستقبليه تاعت الشركه، اذا بدها تروح على to go regional بعدين to go global. بس انا دائما بحكي go على المنطقه اللي هي فعلا بتكون مناسبه لك. بالجهه الثانيه الفاوندرز اللي هم بيشتغلوا جلوبال، هدول معظم شغلهم بيكون ديجيتال اصلا، اوكي، سبيشالي في الديب تك. يعني شركات عم تشتغل في السوفت وير وهاي الامور they can sell anywhere. فتكون قاعد في مصر ولا بالاردن ولا في قطر you can sell anywhere you have to go global. لانه specifically لما تحكي على ديب تك ستارت ابس you're competing against the world. بس اذا بتحكي على اوبر لايك اور سويفل اور وات ايفر كومبانيز، عم تحكي على لوكال ريجنال ستارت ابس. هيك عم نفكر يعني.
صحيح 100%. ويمكن يعني هي فعلا هي مايند سيت، وفي نفس الوقت اشوف في الاسواق المشابهه. يعني انا فاكر كان في فاوندر لستارت اب في الكويت اسمه سيز، فكان بيقول انا عايز اتوسع في عمان. فبقول له ليه عمان؟ قال انا اي ونت تو بي ا سمول فيش، بما معناه يعني بيج فيش، بلاير رئيسي في سوق اقدر ان انا اكون فيه بشكل قوي، احسن ما اكون بلاير لسه مبتدئ في سوق ضخم في كومبيتيشن من شركات من كل العالم، شركات من السعوديه ومن فرنسا ومن مصر ومن المانيا وهدخل ك one very small player، فهتكون اصعب.
لازم الفاوندر يكون لازم يسال. انا الشيء المهم بالفاوندر انه انت ما بتعرف كل شيء لحالك. you have to ask people، لازم تسال، لازم تعرف على الماركتس الموجوده. وكنت حاب بس اعلق على when the founders are ready for investments. في عندنا بالثيسس تاعتنا، يعني one of our thesis is that if we understand the technology we're not going to invest in the company، لانه معناته البارير to entry is very low. so احنا بنحاول نفوت بشيء عجبني بس مش فاهم شو. okay, I think the market is going to be big. I believe in the founder. The founder is capable of doing it, but I don't know anything about this. Okay, this is something أنا بالنسبة لي شخصياً وبخليني أتحرك أكتر. I want to go and hunt الفاوندر هذا. So I just wanted to add, there are different types of ways when you want to reach these investors. Yes.
صحيح 100%. يمكن عندنا يعني آخر 3 أو 4 دقايق لو أخذ 1 minute quote in 1 minute from every one of you. One advice to founders. The next generation of camels, our founders of camel labeled startups. what to focus on. One advice. نبدأ
ما سمعتش السؤال. what do you focus on؟
نصيحة
لا،
ل
اسمع.
next generation of entrepreneurs. One advice, the most important, the most critical. يعني دي أكتر حاجة محتاج تركز عليها كفاوندر لستارت اب عشان يعني تروح في مكان بعيد.
نصيحة واحدة.
نصيحة واحدة.
الصبر.
الصبر. صحيح 100%.
بس
ويمكن عشان كده مصطلح الكامل ان هو صبور.
لا هو
بلد.
هو الموضوع مش سهل، هو الموضوع بسيط مش بسيط ويمكن انا من الناس اللي يعني قلت بعد 26 سنه بقى خبره واكسبيرينس بلاج بلاي بقى لما انا وانا بعمل باسس بكره، فقلت خلاص انا I will manage بكره فروم الجونه وخلاص مانجنج بقى خلاص سهله بقى خلاص يعني. لا طبعا انا ستارت فروم سكراتش من فروم زيرو، وان انت تو بيلد تيم تو بيلد ريسورسز تو كونفينس انفسترز ان انت تبقى تعرف تغير بسهوله الموديل، ممكن تكون سويتش الموديل عادي بسهوله، ما تسمع ادفايس من الناس اللي حواليك، يعني حاجات كتير، مجموعه حاجات كتير، بس كل مجموعه الحاجات ديت كلها بتتلخص في كلمه الصبر. لو عايز تنجح لازم هتصبر، عشان السعي والصبر بس.
صحيح.
سيمبلي يعني
100% to the point. علمي.
الصبر نكسر دارتي
وبشر الصابرين.
الصبر كتير. And as we say in English, like never give up. And yeah, for example, for us, we've been working like for a year and a half, and alhamdulillah, just after a year and a half, now we start like seeing result. People are really start like believing us, and sabr is really, really important. Because like because if you give up like at this first obstacle, first challenge, and the first time you have like a challenge or like and take a risk. Yeah, take a big risk.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe like I'm gonna. You don't start like still like the sabr and change it on. Don't give up, but like yeah, just take risk and tawakkul ala Allah at the end of the day, because you know like you take risk and whatever is meant to come true will come true inshallah.
For me is what I can tell you is my North Star is the purpose. Purpose.
Yes.
If you have the purpose, it is the driving engine to producing sabr, producing resilience, producing patience. Like everything for me, I can tell you, like if you can find your purpose in what you're doing, it's a shield, it's an engine, whatever you call it, it's your North Star taking you there. For me, it's like Muslims deserve better and needs to take the fair share from life, fair share from luxury, fair share from comfort, fair share from everything. We need to provide that as entrepreneurs. And this is my burning desire. It started with providing choice in fashion. Now it's providing choice in travel, inshallah.
MashaAllah. Absolutely. So you get rewarded here and there. Inshallah.
Inshallah.
أنا quickly two things. الأول إحنا في مرحلة ذهبية إحنا بعصر ذهبي حاليا، عصر معلوماتية وعصر الذكاء الاصطناعي. أنت بتقدر تبني شركة ب$100 حاليا، تبني MVP وتبدأ تتحرك وتشتغل وتجيب كاستمرز. أنت مش هتضطر إنك تدفع مصاري كتير عشان تجرب الفكرة. فإحنا بopportunity عالية، وأنا بطلب من الكل إنه يتعلموا الفايب كودينج، يتعلموا هاي الأشياء، لأنه هذا إشي مهم للفاوندرز. الإشي الثاني دائما أنا بحكي للفاوندرز خليك متواضع، خلي عندك حب للمعرفة، عندك جوع hunger for knowledge، اتعلم من الناس اللي حواليك، بس اتعلم من مين تتعلم، مش كل حدا بيحكي لك إشي تاخذ منه، في نويز كتير حواليك رح يكون، وتوكل على رب العالمين وما تكذب. انا من الشركات اللي فعلا I get stressed عليهم انه بيجي فاوندر بيحاول يجي يحكي انه هو بيفهم بشغله معينه او انه انجينير وطور شيء معين، وهو ناسي انه قاعد مع واحد عنده 25 سنه خبره تكنولوجي وفاهم، وانا I can catch انك انت عم تكذب علي من اولها. فدونت لاي، be as humble as you can، وتوكل على الله واستخدم اللي ربنا اعطانا هلا شيء ممكن يخلينا ويرجعنا احسن من الشعوب الثانيه كلها.
صحيح.
شكرا جزيلا.
صحيح، شكرا جزيلا. وخلينا نختم هنا يعني بانل فيري انترستينج وانسايتس اكثر من رائعه ومتنوعه، وشكرا جزيلا للبانل الكريمه. Thank you very much to everyone here in the hall. والسلام عليكم ورحمه الله وبركاته. شكرا جزيلا.
حضورنا الكرام، ندعو الأستاذ أحمد الرحابي المدير العام أو المدير التنفيذي للعلاقات العامة والاتصال المؤسسي بمبادرة منافع لتكريم مدير الجلسة وضيوفه.
شكرا.
حضورنا الكرام، بهذا نصل إلى ختام أعمال النسخة الثالثة من منتدى مكة للحلال، 3 أيام اجتمع فيها قادة وصناع القرار وخبراء ورواد الأعمال ليؤكدوا أن مستقبل الحلال يبنى بالشراكات ويقوده الابتكار، وترتكز أسسه على الاحترافية والمعايير العالمية. لقد كان هذا المنتدى منصة للحوار وجسر للتعاون ومساحة لصناعة الفرص. نشكر رعاتنا وشركائنا وضيوفنا الكرام وكل من ساهم في نجاح هذا الحدث، ونتطلع إلى لقاءات قادمة بإذن الله نواصل فيها معا صناعة مستقبل الحلال برؤية عالمية وطموح لا يتوقف. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.